Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Angel Santiago. I am here with Tony Trapasso for the Pony Express Endurance for Amateur Road Series. We are here. This is round number 8 at the Circuit of Le Mans. 100 minutes of endurance racing for these drivers as we are currently watching league sensation Dennis Diaz put out a qualifying lap at this very, very difficult racetrack. They are doing the full configuration, which, if I'm not mistaken, is about 14 turns. I don't have too much experience on this track. In fact, not actually raced here before, but I know it's a very challenging one. This is what we're known for, putting on quite the challenging races for this. So right now, as we again just saying, we got Dennis Diaz currently out on his qualifying lap. However, Terry Coucher currently the number one on the board. He's got himself a 351.72. Let's see what Dennis can put up next. Just briefly, we're going to go over your race info. It is 74 degrees as the air temperature. That means track temp's going to be a nice, hot, and slick 100 degrees, so it's going to be tough for a lot of these drivers. Humidity is about 51%, 9 miles per hour wind speed, so everything else is pretty relaxed, about the same. Clear skies tonight. This track is 8.42 miles, so we've got a pretty big track compared to most tracks that we go to by quite a big difference. We're going to give Tony a few minutes before he jumps in. Because this track is so big, it takes quite a bit to load here at iRacing, and so Tony's getting that figured out. While he does that, we'll go jump in here and watch some of these qualifying. You see at the bottom, just kind of qualifying times as they go out, and as they attempt. You see each one of those little boxes. There's a sector. That pink box means that that person was the fastest person in that sector. The green just means that they're going faster than their own times on the sector. So got a lot of exciting racing to go on tonight, especially again for 100 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, if you are watching live with us on YouTube with the ESBN YouTube page, please let us know who you're rooting for. We got plenty of time tonight. We'll get to you at one point. We're going to go ahead and jump over to whichever driver you're rooting for. Be happy to get him up on the broadcast. We always try to get to everybody. There's a ton of drivers. I think Tony was telling me before we got in here, we've got 42 drivers. We'll have to see exactly how much once they get qualifying all settled. But yeah, 42 drivers is going to be a lot of people to keep up with. That's a fantastic thing about this league so far. I mean, having 8 races in on 100-minute endurance, and car count is exactly the same as it was when we started. I think maybe 2 less cars, if that. Obviously, you have a 2 or 3 car variant every week. But I mean, yeah, fantastic job for the league and the amount of work that gets put in by the admins just to make sure we have a full field each and every week. As we continue to follow Terry Coucher out on one of his laps. He had a pretty darn good fast first lap. This is Dennis right here. He's looking. He had the fastest sector 3. Doug Buchanan actually had the fastest first sector. So a lot of sectors this track to make your mark and see where you can get done here. So if I'm not mistaken, that's 7 sectors for this track. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump over to Jeff Ripley, who's currently putting down his. Sorry, not Jeff Ripley anymore. There we go. Roger Shank. We had a bunch of drivers kind of just finish their times, and let's go to Roger as well there. Well, actually, qualifying's over here in about the next 40 seconds. So if you're not already completing a lap or almost done with your lap, it's about over. Again, lap times around this track taking anywhere from 3 minutes and 51 seconds all the way to the 4-minute 25-second mark, just depending on what you are driving. Bryce W. Anderson in the number 69 Porsche in the GTE class. Currently looking to try to put down a lap here. Nice looking paint scheme. One of my favorites when it comes to having that darkish, not too dark gray. You see that quite a bit nowadays. Kind of like a William Byron gray when he had that Liberty University paint scheme. Looks like we are all set for the grid. We're going to go ahead and jump on over for, of course, like always, we're going to start with your... No, that's not the one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with your first... Oh, there you go. Come on. All right, Terry Cowder is going to be your pole sitter today with a 351.329. Doug Buchanan jumps to second place on the board. Dennis Diaz is going to be starting in third. Brad McCombs in fourth. Jimmy Covert's going to be in fifth. You have Bryce Anderson in sixth. Ronnie Osborne in seventh. Tyler Langenberg is eighth. In ninth is going to be Nick Terrell. David B. Lehman's going to go ahead and round out your top 10. In 11th place is going to be Antoine Dekash. I hope I'm saying your name right, Antoine. If not, my apologies. Matt Odell's going to be in 12th. Derek Sherman in 13th. Tony Watson in 14th. Andrew Neri is going to be in 15th. 16th is going to be Sean Atkins. And rounding out your field for the GTEs is going to be Timothy Bramlett. All right, let's go ahead and jump to your next set right here. The pace car starts rolling. All right, in your GT3A class, Jeff Ripley is going to be on pole. Nicholas Paletti's in second. Ryan Tyler in third. Daniel Hingley's in fourth. Paul Boyle in fifth. Carl Handwerk is going to be in sixth place. In seventh, Mark Thomas. Eighth place goes to Aaron Clayball. Ninth, Marcellus Bruning. And rounding out your top 10 is Gary Schilling. In 11th place, John Nielsen. In 12th, Marcus Osborne. In 13th, Daniel Barnett. Tyler Baker is in 14th. Timothy Emmanuel in 15th. And in 16th, it's going to be Sam Cooper Bennett. Move on to your final class of the day, your GT3B class. Mackenzie Johnson's in first. Roger Shank in second. Mark Dillon Jr. third. Zachary Purcell in fourth. David Ferreira is in fifth. Adam Dahl in sixth. Atticus Middleton is in seventh. Gareth McAllister is going to be in eighth. And then rounding out your field in the GT3B class is Zachary Nurnberger. We got an exciting one for everybody today. I said it's going to be a lot to be keeping up with here. As always, on the left-hand side, we're going to be keeping track of which drivers are where. Get this on. And as always, drivers are required to come to the pace laps. Do remember that classes will be separated by a certain amount of time between each other. Um, Actually, for some reason, it looks like it's showing Mackenzie Johnson in the wrong class. So we are green here. So remember, there is no passing through a certain turn. So again, these drivers are going to stay single file through here. And going to make a quick little update in our fouls here for Mackenzie Johnson in that Corvette. He should be registered as a GTE class. So, as a matter of fact, Roger Shank is your pole sitter in the GT3Bs. All right, adjustment's been made. Mackenzie Johnson is in that Corvette, so he's running in the GT E class. So right now, Terry Calker is with the lead, but here is Dennis Diaz. He is on this rear bumper already, looking to try to make a pass. You see Terry's just snaking it down this long stretch, trying to keep that BMW of Dennis out behind him, not allowing him to get too much of a draft. Doug Buchanan dropped to the fourth position after starting in second, allowing Brad McCombs to get past him. So the class of the field for the last 7 races has been Terry Calger and Dennis Diaz, separated by just a few points when it comes to the point battle right now. So Terry's, on the outside looking in on Dennis, trying to get as many points as he possibly can today. Again, it's a 100-minute race. Only 2 minutes into this is going to be, again, anywhere from 3 to 4 minute laps. So they're going to get only about, 25, just over 25 laps, if that. You got to include the times you got to come down pit road. So certainly an exciting one to behold. As you see, look like Terry's going to pull away ever so slightly. Nice run through this sector for Terry. He's going to pull up to about 1.3 second lead. So great launch for him. Actually, something wrong with Dennis off of that turn. He's going to lose second and third to Brad McCombs and Doug Buchanan. So Dennis going to have some time to make up here. Plenty of time, however, again, 97 minutes to make up that time lost. So we're going to issue a little further back with Nicholas Paletti here. We're going to see what all happened with him. He's in the 707 Porsche. Oh, he's just going to get rear-ended hard by the BMW. Not exactly sure who that was here. Wow, that was a big hit there for Nicholas Paletti. He just got rear-ended. It's the number 824 of Paul Hingley. I think he just didn't anticipate where Nicholas is going to be on that break right there. So it looks like we have an issue now for Timothy Bramlett. We'll have to see what all happened to Timothy here. Oh, just heavy damage. Just going to up and hit the wall. Looks like he's going to take a tow out of here now. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump back over to your leaders currently. Terry Calker still in the lead right now. He's got himself about a 1.2 second lead over Doug Buchanan. They did complete their first lap through there. Brad McCombs is in third, and Dennis Diaz is kind of looking right here in fourth place, just being patient. That's all you got to do. Jimmy Covert, not too far behind right here in fifth place, and then you got about a 3.7 second gap over to David B. Lehman. We've seen him be somebody who usually stays out a little longer on these, fuel runs, and he's made up some pretty good time doing so. So we'll have to see what difference he can make there. He is one of 3 drivers in the GTEs that have already made up 5 spots, and there you go. bring that back up here. We're going to go ahead and take away this pit lane. Who's on pit lane at the moment. Oh, something was wrong with David leaving through there. Lost a ton of time, lost 5 spots right there. Gonna lose a couple more. So again, so many different things could happen at any moment in time in this race. We have Rhonda is rooting on for Roger Shank. We'll go ahead and jump over to Roger. He is in the GT3B class. This is where these cars have a higher downforce, a little easier to drive in that sense. They do have more fuel as well. So they're at 100% fuel compared to the other cars. They're at 65%, so they're not required to pit for fuel as much, obviously. Usually doing it on one less stop. Currently, he's got himself a 0.8 second lead over this Lamborghini right behind him, and that is the number 3 of Mark Dillon. So, we've seen these two drivers up front quite a bit. Mark, I think, has got a little bit different paint scheme than he normally does. It's a nice looking paint scheme on that one. But Roger Shank, we all have seen this Lamborghini and its mouth, teeth, however you want to describe that, up front right there as it zooms in. So Roger Shank looking to hold on to a lead at the moment. Starting on pole, Mark Dillon is starting second as well. They've separated themselves by quite a bit right now from Dave Ferreira, who's in the 3rd position. He's in his number 777 Mercedes-Benz. New old stock racing says, loving the aggression from Terry. You're right. Terry's got to be aggressive to start this one. There is no kind of wait to see what's going to happen. He's got to be up front. He's got to put as much distance he can between him and everybody else and maximize the amount of points that he can get in tonight's races. We're going to, coming down after tonight's race, only 2 more races left. So it's going to be pretty important for him to try to maximize what he can do tonight. Go jump on over. After tonight here in Le Mans, we're going to be at Brands Hatch for the Grand Prix circuit with a nice sunrise setting. As today we had a morning in session state. We're going to be sunrise for next week. And then the final race, November 17th, 2 weeks from today, we're going to be at Watkins Glen with the Boot. So a little bit short of a track the next 2 weeks compared to this one, but nonetheless, going to be an exciting one as we can keep on going. We're going to go jump over. It looks like Derek Sherman. He's in the number 42 Corvette. Looks like he had a bit of an issue just a few moments ago. We'll see what all happens. Oh, he just loses it. Tried turning hard into the corner, and the back end just went off of him. Do remember, these are low downforce cars, so you don't exactly see that big wing in the back, but not enough downforce to really plant these cars into the turns. We all, of course, know how difficult Le Mans could be. The last time around, Terry Calger, not only is he trying to put as much distance as he possibly can between him and everybody else, he just put down the fastest lap of the race. Granted, the second lap of the race, but nonetheless, a 3:52.02, which is honestly just about everybody put down their fastest laps that last time around. So you'll see that on the left-hand side. Jeff Ripley putting down the fastest lap in his category, a 4-minute flat, which about a little bit faster than some of the guys in the GTE class, though. Nice job for Jeff Ripley. We jump over to him. Pole sitter in the 3A class. These also have the low downforce, so same settings as the GTEs. Low downforce, 65% fuel capacity. But these are slower cars than the GTEs. That's why you see them a little further back. Nonetheless, Jeff Ripley's now got himself quite a sizable lead over Ryan Tyler, about 5.5 seconds. And you see Tyler's right here in second. Third place is Daniel Hingley. Now Aaron Clayballs, they battle it out for third. So Aaron's biggest, not the biggest mover, but big mover so far right now in the 3A class, up 5 positions, looking to take just taking third place away. So he's now up 5 spots. He's going to hunt down now Ryan Tyler, looking for spot number 6. Tyler Vickery, however, is the biggest mover in the 3A class right now in the number 324 Porsche. He's up 6 positions so far from his 14th starting position. And now looking on ahead is Marcellus Bruning, currently about 3/10 behind him. Again, you're going to see cars all over this racetrack already. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the track map for everybody just briefly so you can see exactly where everybody is at, more or less. See that right there? So a ton of cars all in different areas. And those little dots you see, those are the different sectors on this track. So obviously that line is the start-finish line, and then each one of those dots is a different sector as they go through. So I'm going to take that back off because it'll be a little more confusing having it on anyways. And then Molly Face is rooting on Matt Odell. So Matt Odell currently in the number 955 Porsche. He's up 2 spots from his starting position. Always one of my favorite looking ones. I just love the paint scheme that Matt brings every single week. Kind of this chromish gray, this chromish looking color to go along with that plaid. I love the look of it, overall look of it. I know that's got a different name to it. Plaid work, more or less. I'm not going to make that. But nonetheless, Matt Odell right now on the bumper of Nick Terrell, looking to make up spot number 3. Yeah, all these guys kind of right on top of each other. So David B. Lehman, you got Nick Terrell, Matt Odell, and then Tyler Langenberg. So all these drivers within a second of each other. Less than a second back is Sean Atkins. He's up 4 spots, so he's currently tied with the biggest mover of the race in his GTE class, along with Antoine. Not going to try butchering this name again. Good looking paint scheme. I'm telling you, each and every week, these guys have great looking paint schemes. I know I missed these guys the last 2 weeks just being on vacation. Then, interestingly timed wedding for a close friend of mine. Oh, as Antoine goes off track right there. Bad luck for him. He's probably going to have to give up some more time additional to what he's already lost in that situation. But, yeah, that time around, once again, Terry put down another blazing fast lap of 3:51.75. So that's going to put him about 0.3 of a second faster than second place Doug Buchanan. Dennis Diaz has moved up to the 3rd spot, getting past Brad McCombs. Yeah, nice blazing fast lap for Terry Cowgers. Again, they are now on lap 3, already 13 minutes into the 100-minute endurance that we do have here tonight. We're going to go ahead and let's see if we can't jump in. We got a nice close battle. Tyler Langenberg and Matt Odell side by side here, looking to make up some time. Tyler's going to get past Matt Odell, or Matt Odell was looking on to try to pass Tyler. Not going to quite make that happen here. Good looking Corvette as well for Tyler Langenberg. So these drivers right on top of each other once again. David Lehman right now trying to battle with Antoine, actually getting past back past Antoine, I'd say. You know, we saw David up 5 spots from his starting position earlier in the race after having started in the 11th position. Moved up to 6 and had a bit of an issue. So here he is trying to make up some time, but here comes Antoine right back to the bottom. Going to go ahead and make the pass here as they go through these very flat S's. Oh, it looks like Matt Odell completely off track right there. So Matt Odell going to lose a ton of time. Very easy to do. Going to look like Sean Atkins going to get past him. So Matt's going to fall right back here into the 12th position. Still 1 up from where he started today's race. And again, plenty of time to make up. Don't want to lose it all in one corner, but certainly have plenty of time to make it all back up. See Terry Cowker currently with a 1.5 second lead at the moment. Doug Buchanan in second place in his BMW. Dennis Diaz, for once not the top running BMWs, he goes off track a little bit. Brad McCombs going to follow right there. Jimmy Covert is going to be in the 5th position. Bryce W. Anderson currently in 6th. Nice looking paint scheme. Oh, it's a Tennessee paint scheme. Oh, would you look at that? I have nothing against Tennessee. They have my favorite teams. Yes, former coach Josh Heupel. So I say you guys can have him. Mackenzie Johnson in the 7th position. David Lehman in 8th. Antoine's going to be in 9th. Tyler Langenberg in 10th. Sean Atkins in 11th. Matt O'Neill in 12th. Tony Watson in 13th. Nick Terrell in 14th. Andrew Neri in 15th. Derek Sherman is in 16th. And Ronnie Osmer is running currently in the 17th position. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to our 3A class. Jeff Ripley still your leader, now up by 8 seconds over Ryan Tyler. So Jeff is just putting on an absolute clinic on these drivers here in the 3A class, trying to pull away as much as he possibly can. Ryan Tyler, as previously mentioned, in the 2nd position. Aaron Clayball continues to march forward. He's now in the 3rd position, holding on right behind Ryan, trying to make that 6 spots gained on the night. Paul Boyles in 4th. Mark Thomas in 5th. Tyler Vickery, currently your biggest mover in the 3A class, up 8 spots. So he started back in 14th, now all the way up to the 6th position, about 1.3 seconds behind Mark Thomas. Marcellus Bruning, he is up 2 spots from his starting position in 7th, as he's got the GTE class cars of Andrew Neri and Derek Sherman directly behind him. Marcus Osborne's in the 8th position, up 4 spots from his starting position back in 12th. Nicholas Paletti's in 9th. Had a bit of an issue for him as he went off track we saw earlier, so he's down 7 spots after having started this race in the 2nd position. Gary Schilling's in 10th. Daniel Hingley's in 11th, the number 824 BMW. John Nielsen in 12th. Sam Cooper Bennett's in 13th. And Carl Hanworth, here's Carl Hanworth in his Porsche in 14th. Timothy Emmanuel in his Mercedes is in 15th. And that rounds out your drivers here in the GT3A class. We'll jump over now to your 3B class, where Roger Shank is still your leader, now by 6.6 seconds over Gareth McAllister. This is something where usually we see Gareth running all the way up front, so a bit of an early struggle here in the first 18 minutes for Gareth, as he is a good deep ways back from Roger, but we know that Roger could lose that in any given turn. He's still got a couple of pit stops where a lot of time can be gained and lost. Zachary Purcell currently in the 3rd position in the 3B class. Adam Dahl's going to be in 4th place, just not too terribly far back from Zachary. That's about 3.5 seconds right there. Atticus Middleton is currently in the 5th position. Nice looking Castro paint scheme tonight for Atticus. Mark Dillon currently in 6th. We saw him running up front, so not exactly sure what happened to him. He's down 4 spots from 2nd to 6th. Oh, as Mark Dillon has another issue right through there. So Mark Dillon having a little bit of a struggle as we go through this race today. We're reaching the 1/5 mark of this endurance race tonight, so plenty, again, as I've said, all night long. Plenty of time still for Mark to gain up. Maybe try to take advantage of some misfortunes for other drivers as this race continues. Zachary Numberger's in the 7th position here, and Dave Ferreira is going to round out your 8 drivers in the GT3B class for tonight's race. We're going to go jump back up to your leader here. Doug Buchanan just put down his fastest lap of the race that last time around, a 3:51.95. So that time around, he was a good 0.7 of a second faster than Terry Cowger, and as you can see, that's now a 6 to 0.7 of a second difference gap between 1st and 2nd place. And Dennis is about 5 seconds behind this battle. So look, he's definitely hoping for these 2 drivers to keep battling it out for the 1st position here. Hopefully, gives him an opportunity to try to track them down and gain some more time. If you're going to be battling, in my opinion, for these 2 drivers, especially maybe for Terry and for Doug, is just go ahead and maybe let the guy by. Don't force something. Don't possibly cause yourself to have an issue. battling here and losing time to Dennis. Unless you feel like this would be this is what you got to do. Oh, something happened to Mark Dillon right through there. He's just not having a good night tonight here at Le Mans. It's a very fast-paced chicane right here. Oh, he just overdrove it. Oh my goodness! It looks like his brakes failed through there for Mark Dillon. I mean, that car came flying through. So heavy, heavy impact for Mark Dillon. We're gonna jump on board and see what all happened. I don't know, did he just lose steering? I mean, that steering wheel did not turn once, so I'm wondering losing his brakes and steering. Sometimes he has some issue with these electronics that we deal with. Not sure what happened to Mark Dillon there. Very unfortunate. We've seen him be pretty fast as of late. Go ahead and jump on board. It's one of my favorite things to do each and every week, especially when we've got a battle for any type of position. We've got Doug Buchanan now less than 0.2 of a second behind Terry Cowder as they're going down a nice long stretch. You see him, he's just kind of blipping the throttle a little bit, not trying to make the pass here. See, Terry's going to drive it in deep, and he's going to be able to pull away as they come in. Looks like he's going to get through the corner and off just ever so slightly better than Doug, so trying to pull away a little bit here. There's a long stretch on Doug Buchanan. That's Terry Cowder. We're looking on from the onboard view of the 264 BMW of Doug. But he's got some nice straight end speed. You see he's going to peek out a little bit to the left, try to arc this turn just ever so slightly. Right on the rumble strips. It's going to give him a nice drive through the middle of the turn as he continues to hound Terry, looking to try to get himself in the lead before Diaz gets up to the back bumper of both of these drivers. Saying he looks like Buchanan's doing some fuel saving for later on. That would be a great advantage if he could just sit right on behind Terry here, not exactly put some pressure on him, but try to save some fuel. That would be big. I mean, any chance you can save some fuel. I mean, some people think, well, you're gonna have to pit anyways, but the less time you spend on pit road, the less time you have to sit there getting refueled is going to be every bit of an advantage over your competitors, and even at the same time saving some tires. So ton of different ideas you can do here as you see these guys hitting these rumble strips hard through here. Man, that takes quite a bit of confidence to drive through those corners the way they were. They're going pretty darn fast through there. You gotta love it. I know I love watching just as they do it. As they continue to battle, Dennis really hasn't gained too much of them. It's kind of equaled out to about a 4-second difference. It's like Brad McCombs, he's making his way on the pit road. I don't see any damage on this car. We're 23, now 24 minutes into this, so about the quarter mark of this one. So maybe just trying to do something a little bit different. Not sure some pit strategy here for Brad McCombs. He was running up in that third position, so it'll be, or fourth position, I'm sorry. So it'll be interesting to see what he is doing here. Again, doesn't look like any real damage to this car, so hopefully he's coming in for his first set of tires and fuel. Matt Odell had a bit of an issue here. We'll see what happened for him as he's he just overdrives this turn, gets He's got to make a complete stop and actually decides to tow it back onto pit lane. Very, very tough track for a lot of these drivers. Can't blame them at all for what they're going through. We're going to go back here now as Doug Buchanan and Terry continue to have a battle here for first while also pulling away from Diaz. So, maybe Diaz is doing some fuel saving, some tire saving just for this, looking for the end of this one. Again, you don't got to win it here at the start of the race. We're quarter of the way through this 100-minute endurance race already. So again, these guys are just flying through here. As we sit to the quarter of the way mark, looks like Doug peeking out. Hard to tell if he's really trying to race him or not. He's definitely all over the back bumper though of Terry. So these guys are right on top of each other. You gotta love it. Got a couple of the battles going on around the track. Looks like Tyler Langenberg is under track from Antoine for the 7th position in the GTE class. That's all at the moment I have for position battling wise. So. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and jump briefly as these two guys continue to battle it out. You'll see, give the opportunity so we can watch Tyler and Antoine as well as they look to do battle here. Currently, everybody, we are about 26, almost 27 minutes into this race. That equals out to 6, almost 7 laps as currently the leaders are completing their 7th lap. Then we have almost 4-minute times. It definitely makes for a very, very long lap for each one. So, all right, looks like Terry's able to pull away quite a bit here from Doug. So Terry just had himself a great couple of corners there. And I wouldn't necessarily put that against Doug because it looks like Terry put the same amount of time on Dennis. That same time frame. So it looks like you see just Terry just pulling away significantly from Doug here at this stretch. As a very wide turn through here, you're gonna come to a very sharp left-hander, another sharp right-hander, using every bit of those rumble strips you possibly can. I don't have really any experience in iRacing here at Le Mans, but back in my Force days, this is one of those tracks that was just a ton of fun to drive, and it's fun because it's so challenging, and that's why, I mean, you do a 24-hour race here, it's meant to be very difficult, very challenging, especially when it's almost 9 miles of a track distance, so, I mean, it's a ton of fun, and it really puts the best out there. To think you got it's 100 minutes. It's 100 minutes each race, but sometimes for some drivers it's a mental thing. All right, I got through this lap. Now on to the next one. No, it's not so simple. You get so few laps in when you have such a large track. As you see, the Mercedes-Benz of Timothy Emmanuel, I believe, right in front of Terry, just trying to get out of the way there. Just gonna go ahead and let him ride on by. Timothy's in your GT3 A class, my apologies. Currently running in the 12th position there. As now Terry's pulled away to a 3.8 second lead over Doug Buchanan. So now Doug went from battling right there with Terry to under attack from Dennis. As you see, Dennis is going to go ahead and peak low. You get a BMW battle for second here. Dennis has got it. Doug's going to go ahead and let him right on by into the braking zone. Not going to go side by side there. Very hard part of the racetrack to go side by side. You see Dennis goes a little bit wide. Doug has the opportunity to check back out under him, but Doug's just going to stay right on behind Dennis here. So he peeks out, but Doug isn't looking to try to battle him for position here. He knows you got to do a lot of give and take. It's just going to allow Dennis to go ahead and pull out in front of him as they come up on that lap car of Timothy Emmanuel. Timothy's just going to stay all the way to the outside, get off of the racetrack to allow these drivers to get the line they want. So great job there in Timothy. Nice respect towards these drivers in these faster cars. Deborah Lynn. We know Deborah's on watching us just about every week as well. So nice to see you with us here, Deborah, in our comment section. Brad McCombs, we saw him right now currently in the 9th position in his class in the GTEs, down 5 from where he started. However, he is the only driver in his, aside from, sorry, Derek Sherman, but he came down pit road along with Mackenzie Johnson. So both of those drivers have made their first pit stops of the day at laps 6 and 7, respectively, for Brad McCombs and Mackenzie Johnson. So we'll have to see where the cycle's back out for Brad. I mean, we've seen him show some speed. We saw him running up there top 3 and 4 early on in this race, and you know, you can't do exactly what everybody else does in front of you. You got to do something different. If you can't catch them on the racetrack, do something a little bit radical on pit road, and I do believe that's what Brad McCombs and Mackenzie Johnson were trying to do. You see that Mackenzie Johnson is that same that Corvette as well, just about 4.3 seconds behind Brad McCombs here. Terry currently now with a 4.3 second lead. Looks like Doug got back past Dennis Diaz, so these guys continue duking it out here for second. Only allows Terry to continue to try to pull away. Oh, as Terry goes off track. It's like he's coming down pit road here. Doug Buchanan and Dennis Diaz are going to take advantage of that mishap for Terry. So a ton of time gained there for Doug and Dennis, as that's going to hurt Terry. He was all but perfect throughout the entire first run. Coming down pit lane for the first time. Misses that initial jump, and luckily no. I don't know if he's going to have a penalty for that. We'll have to jump over here and see exactly what happened for Terry. He went off track ever so slightly. Oh, he just locks it up coming in. That is the pit lane entrance. I'm not sure if you can get a penalty for that. It's not technically cutting the course. We'll have to see where that cycles him back out. We'll see if he's going to sit in his pit stall for a little longer than Doug. Also, yeah, it looks like Terry's going to have to sit through a penalty. So Doug's going to beat Dennis right back out on track. Tyler Langenberg is currently your leader in the GTEs and overalls. He is yet to come down pit lane. Doesn't necessarily have to come down pit lane. You just put down his fastest lap of his race that last time around. So if you're out there putting down your fastest lap, keep it out there. I'm wondering if Terry's got to stick himself out for a 40-second penalty, maybe for that to be a heavy penalty for Terry, as he's lost just a ton of time to Doug and Dennis, and it looks like it's about 40 seconds of a difference. So looks like Terry's got himself quite the uphill battle now. We do know he is the fastest car out on track, and I wouldn't exactly put him out of the picture just yet, as again, it's 33 minutes now into a 100-minute race, so plenty of time for Terry to go ahead and make up still. Dennis gets back past Doug Buchanan for second place, and I know right now that's for second, but once Tyler Langenberg comes down pit lane, they will cycle back out to the lead. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves a brief break. You see first through 7th for the 3A class all in pit lane together, so it looks like they're all trying to stick to the same pit strategy. Then Roger Shank still your leader in the 3B class, currently with a 14-second lead over Garrett. So right now Roger's putting on a clinic. In the 3B class. Fantastic job for Roger. We're going to go ahead and take a brief break. We're going to go ahead and leave you guys with the view of the battle for second and what will eventually be the battle for first in the GTE class between Dennis Diaz and Doug Buchanan. Right, we're back here. We're glad we left you on that battle. As you saw, Doug and Dennis just kind of trading positions there once again for the first spot as they go back and forth trying to make this happen. You're correct. It is quite a shame. Terry did drive a great opening stint. I mean, great is an understatement. He was just doing a fantastic job through there. So it looks like Jocelyn Osborne is rooting on a Marcus. Only going to assume that it is a Marcus Osborne. I know we got him somewhere here. Let me go ahead and find where he is at. There you go. There's Marcus. Marcus in his orange, yellow, and I think that was brown as we briefly went by. Just one of many very good looking paint schemes on here, and that very large front grille for the BMWs. Carrying our logo actually on the side of his BMW here, so we'll see as he comes by briefly. There it is, our ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network, a Sim Racing Media Company logo right there on the associate sponsor area you normally see. Currently, Marcus Osborne is running in the 10th position, his number 7 BMW. You see a little bit of front end damage, so not sure exactly where that might have come from, but he's up 2 spots from his original starting position, and currently about 5.5 seconds back of Gary Schilling. So you see, there's Gary, and here comes Marcus. So not too far off. Many times we made up through there. But to no surprise for anybody, you can see that Dennis Diaz is your leader at the moment. You know, a little bit of adversity to start the race. Keep it calm, keep it cool, and here he is, the leader of your race. But Doug Buchanan is waiting for him to make any slight mishap. But I don't think Doug necessarily needs for Dennis to make a mishap. We saw Doug was putting out some pretty good times, battling it out with Terry to start this race. I mean, Doug's fastest lap is about a tenth faster than Dennis's, so, and Terry's about an extra 2 tenths faster than Doug. But nonetheless, so Doug is absolutely very evenly matched with Dennis. You can almost argue that he is faster today. So we'll have to see, can Doug get back around Dennis and maybe steal the win away from him. When we get to the 40-minute mark here, as I always try doing at the 20-minute intervals, I'm sorry. So we're now 40% through this race. We'll go down your leaderboard. Dennis Diaz is your current leader. Doug Buchanan in second. Brad McCombs back here in third place. Jimmy Covert is in fourth. Mackenzie Johnson is in fifth. Tyler Langenberg in sixth. David Lehman's in seventh. Terry Cowger's currently in the 8th position. Hasn't really gained too much time on the leader, so it's about the same. Antoine is in 9th. Derek Sherman's in 10th. Nick Terrell is in 11th. Ronnie Osmer in 12th. Tony Watson in 13th. Matt Odell in 14th. And 15th is Andrew Neri. Looks like he's coming down pit lane or just came off pit lane. Bryce Anderson, I believe he is done for the evening. That is correct. And Timothy Bramlett as well, done for the evening. So those were your 17th and 18th place drivers in the GTE class. We jump now to your 3A class, where we are following Jeff Ripley as he's got himself a 6.3 second lead over second place Ryan Tyler. Jeff Ripley was your pole sitter for the 3A, so again, putting on a clinic for these guys. As you can see, here comes Ryan Tyler, waiting for Jeff to make any type of mistake, and he's going to pounce and try to steal this win away. Paul Boyles in third. Aaron Clayball up to the 4th position, so he continues to move forward here. Nicholas Paletti is in 5th. John Nielsen in 6th, currently your biggest mover in your 3A class, up 5 spots from his 11th place starting position. Carl Handwerk is in 7th. Mark Thomas in 8th. 9th place is Gary Schilling. Marcus Osborne, who we just finished visiting as well as Gary, currently in 10th. Marcellus Bruning in 11th. Daniel Hingley's in 12th. Tyler Vickery, I do believe he is out of the race, along with Sam Cooper Bennett and Timothy Emmanuel, as well as Daniel Barnett. Looks like we get a couple of these GT3A class drivers out of the race. We'll jump over now to Roger Shank. He is your leader still in the GT3B class with a 17-second lead over Gareth McAllister, who's up 5 spots. He's your biggest mover so far in the 3B class. In third place is Zachary Purcell. In fourth is Adam Dahl. Dave Ferreira's in fifth. Zachary Numberger is in sixth. Atticus Middleton's in seventh, and Mark Dillon. We saw him have some issues and wreck with some heavy front end damage. He is done for the evening in eighth. To nobody's surprise, here we are after going through the entire grid of 40 plus drivers. There's been no change necessarily for first. However, there's not been a change in distance either, as him, Dennis, and Doug continue to just be right on top of each other, matching lap times. Brad McCombs just put down his fastest lap of the day, a 3:53.29. He's about 21 and a half seconds behind this front battle. We are inching ever so closely. Here we are, 44, almost 45 minutes into this race. We are 5 minutes away from the halfway point of this race already. So this is quite an interesting race so far. As you see, and Terry Cower dominate kind of that first stint and had a bit of an issue coming down pit road and had to serve a very hefty penalty on pit lane, allowing Dennis Diaz and Doug Buchanan to get themselves a hefty lead over the rest of the pack right now, as they currently run first and second, about 22 and a half seconds ahead of third place Brad McCombs. And do remember, Brad came in first, and I know it was 2 laps ahead of time, but that's 16, 17, almost 18 miles difference. Pretty, that makes a big difference right there. Think about it, that's 15 to 16 laps in a mile and a half. No less than that. But something that's worked out for Brad as he's holding on to the third position. Alright, as we come down to the halfway point of this race, we're going to go ahead and give you all a nice crank it up session here for just a few minutes before we hit the halfway mark. And just as a preparation, remember, if you are listening on headphones, this will get loud, so just be prepared for that. All right, after the nice fun session, Dennis and Doug continue to just keep swapping first place here. I swear, they're just it's gonna be who gets the right position at the right time. Oh, it looks like Doug was just a little bit loose there, trying to get in line behind Dennis. Alright, we're 49 minutes and 50 seconds into this one, so you already know we are now halfway through. Once I finally complete the subject, so I'll keep tracking it out until it does finally hit that 50-minute mark. And there you go, we're 50 minutes now into this race, which means we got 50 minutes left. Currently 9:40 p.m. on the eastern seaboard. So we'll be finishing up sometime right around 10:30. You see currently, Dennis just kind of trying to get through some of this traffic in front of him. That's going to be Marcellus Bruning, Gary Schilling, and Marcus Osborne. So to think 50 minutes into this race, and we got three drivers in the same class all right on top of each other still. So nice job for Marcus having make up some time now. Is up 3 positions from his original starting spot. He's going to have overall class leader in the GTEs right on his back bumper. So he's going to go ahead and let Dennis right on by as soon as he gets this opportunity to. As Doug is trying to use him as a pick. You see he was out of the way right there. Here comes Doug. He's going to try to get some draft and help off of that other BMW. Can he get enough? He's going to get a nice run down the stretch here. So he's going to be right on the back bumper of Dennis. Can he do anything with it? Can he and will he is another question. We've seen Doug not really push the issue. You know, we're just getting past the halfway point of this race, so plenty of time still before he's really got to make anything happen. You see Marcus is trying to use a draft off of these guys to try to keep up with them and try to pull away from those couple drivers behind him. You know, try to make up that time as well. Alright, again, so these two continue to battle out. We're going to go ahead and jump down because these two can keep battling it out no matter what's happening. Right now, you got Carl Handwerk in 6th place, battling it out with John Nielsen. So Carl's in the 6th position in that Porsche, the number 118, and then John's in that number 931 Porsche. Then that Lamborghini you see just a little further back is Gareth McAllister. He's in that 3B class. So currently on track battles, that's including one of them. You see Mackenzie Johnson is right around these guys as well. Here it looks like Mackenzie and Jimmy Colbert are kind of right on top of each other as they battle it out here. Looking for Brad McCombs. Did he come down pit road or? There he goes. Back down to the ninth position. Yes, he made his pit stop. Oh, Dexter just finished up making his pit stop this last lap. So, let's see if we got any other battles right now. Let's see. Marcus Osborne is now under attack from Marcellus Bruning. Marcellus able to chop down that time that he was back there battling with Gary Schilling. So he's trying to make up some time here, try to get right up on there behind Marcus Osborne. Let's go ahead and jump on board. Like always, my favorite view. Get to it a couple different times during the race. Try to do at least one of each of the cars just to get a nice view from what the drivers are looking at inside of these race cars. See, that first part of the turn looks like Marcus Osborne got through there a little bit better, but then Marcellus got through the second part of those turns a little better. You see Marcus go ahead and put the block a little bit there on Marcellus, so we'll have to see how that works out here a little bit later on for Marcellus. Does he decide to give Marcus the boot at one point and just stay patient and maybe wait for a mistake to possibly happen? We're going through a very long stretch now, and actually right now Marcus has Gary Schilling on his bumper, so Gary's going to have two cars right in front of him, possibly two positions he could possibly make up. Well, he's part throttle through here. He's just trying to take us, he's just trying to stay away from these guys in front. He's just maybe not wanting to put a battle to them right now. I love love these views. They're definitely my favorite views to see. This makes me wish I was out there racing with these guys. It wouldn't be very good, not nearly as good as these guys are, but definitely still makes me wish I was out there with them. We'll go ahead and jump back over here to your current battle for. Oh, actually, we're gonna jump over here to Jeff Ripley and Ryan Tyler. Not sure what happened to Jeff. He had himself a 6.5 second lead over Ryan. And now Ryan's got it down to 0.6 of a second, so this is the battle for first currently in your GT3A class. Let's see if I can't find maybe something that could have possibly happened here to Jeff Ripley. And I don't really think anything that might have happened here too. But nonetheless, doesn't really matter. We got ourselves a nice battle here for first and second in the 3A class. We got ourselves a very nice battle for first and second in the GTE class. Right now, it's Roger Shank, who's actually lost quite a bit of time to Gareth McAllister. Gareth has gained over 6 seconds on Roger. So right now, this is the only real big difference in time between first and second. It's a 3B class. It'll be the GTEs and the GT3As right now putting on a battle for first and second. And it looks like they have just getting past the Lamborghini. I believe that is Mark Dillon. Yeah, so he's back out on track with a fresh looking race car. So trying to salvage what has been a just a frustrating and night. Had a much better racing position, I believe, than currently looked at. And here comes Ryan Tyler looking to make the pass here on Jeff Ripley. So Jeff kind of dominating most of this race, and now he's got a possible chance of losing the lead here. So Ryan's gonna have to fall right back in line there. Jeff had the preferred position. You see the sun just beaming down, the morning sun beaming down on these race cars. That time around, Dennis Diaz put down his fastest lap of the day, 51.95, which matches the fastest lap of second place driver Doug Buchanan. So these drivers are literally matched evenly when it comes to their fastest times, and they are just now within a tenth of each other still. You see Doug peek out ever so slightly, not going to be able to do anything with it. Here we are now, 60 minutes into this race. We'll go ahead and give you your every 20-minute rundown, as we normally do. Dennis Diaz currently in first position. Let's actually go ahead and bring up the right details with it here. All right, so this is Dennis Diaz, currently your first place driver. Doug Buchanan from Vancouver in second place. Jimmy Culver is currently in third. Tyler Langenberg is in fourth. Terry Coucher is so far he's been able to come back up here into the fifth position. David Lehman is in sixth. Antoine is in seventh. Brad McCombs, having already made his second pit stop of the day, is currently in the eighth position. Mackenzie Johnson, also having made their second pit stop of the day, is in ninth. Nick Terrell is in 10th from Charleston, South Carolina. Derek Sherman is currently in 11th. Tony Watson is in 12th in that Porsche. That's not it. Andrew Neri from Finlay, I believe that is correct. Currently in the 13th position. Ronnie Osmer in 14th. Looks like I think he might be out for the day. He had a bit of an issue. So from Pearl River, Louisiana. Matt Odell in 15th, also out for the day. Sean Atkins in 16th. He's done for the day as well. And as previously mentioned, Bryce W. Anderson and Timothy Bramlett also out for the day in their GTE class. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to the GT3A class with Jeff Ripley. Oh, I may have clicked number 2 instead of 3. All right, there we go. So Jeff Ripley is still holding on to the lead here in your 3A class. Ryan Tyler right on his back bumper, looking to take advantage of any possible mistake Ripley might make. Paul Boyle currently in third, about 23 seconds behind this lead group of drivers. In fourth is Aaron Clayball, continues to make his way up to the field, currently in fourth position, up 4 spots from his starting position. Nicholas Paletti's in fifth. Carl Handwerk in sixth. Mark Thomas about a second and a half behind in seventh. John Nielsen is in eighth. Marcellus Bruning and Marcus Osborne, who were two drivers battling it out with each other, both on pit road right now. And then in 11th is Gary Schilling. He's also made his second pit stop of the day. So you see him just a little bit further back, kind of short pitting a little bit. Daniel Hingley, Daniel Hingley, trying to fix what looks like some massive front end damage to the front end of his BMW. Then it looks like Tyler Vickery, Sam Cooper Bennett, Timothy Emanuel, and Daniel Barnett are all done for the evening. I'll go ahead and now jump over to your GT3 B class, as currently Roger Shank is still your leader. He's currently got himself about a almost 10-second lead over Gareth McAllister. So here comes in the final 45 minutes of this, 45 minutes of this race. Gareth continues to pull in ever so slightly on Roger, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. That last time around, Gareth was 0.8 of a second faster than Roger Shank. He's from Melbourne. In third place is Zachary Purcell. Fourth place is Adam Dahl in his McLaren. In fifth place is David Ferreira in his Mercedes-Benz. In sixth place is Mark Dillon Jr. He's just trying to move out of the way for some of these faster cars. And the number 3, Lamborghini. In seventh is Zachary Numberger. I believe he's done for the evening. And then Atticus Middleton currently on pit road trying to get some extensive damage repaired as well. Oh, it looks like we have an issue here. Ryan Tyler was our leader for... Oh, I'm sorry, he was trying to look in on as he battles Jeff Ripley. Oh, he just loses. We've seen a couple of drivers already. Oh, some pretty significant back end damage for him. We've seen quite a few drivers already lose it off of that turn. So Jeff Ripley just kind of singing some praise for himself right now. Just now able to pull away quite a bit from second place. Jeff Ripley's now got himself a 11.5-second lead. Oh, he's coming down pit road, so he's making his next pit stop as Ryan Taylor's coming down pit road as well. Paul Boyle, he's right behind Ryan Taylor, looking to try to make up as much time as possible. He's going to get right hard on the brakes here. Aaron Clayball's following them on through here as well. More drivers coming down pit road as we see. Doug Buchanan coming down pit lane now. Dennis Diaz had come down on that last time around, so we'll see, does Dennis make up any good time? Maybe Doug said, you know, I just need some fresh air. I think I can put a pretty good fast lap out there, so we'll have to see. Does that make it an advantage for him or for Dennis? Currently Dennis Diaz. I think this would be a good time to bring out that track map just so you can get an idea of where they are in comparison to each other. So currently Dennis Diaz in second place. He's at highlighted number 2, highlighted green, I'm sorry, number 2. And he does make the pass on Doug Buchanan. So Doug losing quite a bit of time here on Dennis. See, Tyler Langenberg is right in between. He still has to make one more pit stop, but looks like Dennis was able to get himself about a 3.5-second difference there on pit lane for him. So he gained about 2.5 on pit lane itself, and then on their pit stalls he gained about 1.5 seconds. So that's where you see all that time gained for Dennis. So was in his pit box for a little bit less time than Doug and got kind of on and off pit road just ever so better. That allowed him to pull away from Doug now by about 4.1 seconds. You saw they were right on top of each other within a 10th or 2 or 3. So about a 3.8 to a 4-second gain here for Dennis. So quite a bit of time for Doug now to try to go up there and gain on Dennis. We'll see, can he do it? bring up the ticker just ever so slightly all the way across the top, and you'll see right there that's where we show 30 minutes left in this one. Not quite pulling up for us on the tower, but on the ticker at the very least, bring that up ever just for the moment, just so you can see that we have just half an hour left in this session. Plenty of time still for you to gain some spots, and plenty of time for you to possibly make a mistake and take yourself out of this one. Go ahead and put you on for the most exciting parts of this track right now. See what all is happening right now. You see Aaron Clayball battling with Paul Boyle. So we'll go ahead and take a brief break while we watch these drivers try to battle it out. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. Had my dog jumping all up on top of me over here. Just wants a little bit of attention. Nonetheless, you see Dennis here. He's holding on to the same about 4-second difference over Doug Buchanan right now. They've completed now 18 laps. So I know it feels like an hour and 13 minutes into this. Man, they've only completed 18 laps, but as previously mentioned, 4-minute lap times. That'll definitely bring that down. Let's see, I don't believe we've gotten the inside view of one of the Corvettes yet, so let's see, do we have any battles with the Corvettes? No, we don't. Well, let's go ahead and jump on board here with the Corvette and see what it all looks like here. I'm not a Chevy guy, but these Corvettes are pretty darn nice. I can't deny that one. Alright, got a pretty nice view of the Corvette there. I know we're on board with Doug at one point, so we saw the inside of the BMW. So the inside of this BMW is going to be just a little bit different. Not too big of a difference between these two BMWs here. One of them being the M8 and then the other one being the M4. The M8, of course, being in your GTE class, and then the M4 being in your GT3A class. So nice way to know the difference. So if you're looking at the front end view of these, the M4 is the one that's got that very, very big front grille there. This one's probably more wide, the other one's more tall, but I'd say the M4 has just a little bit of a one. Has a bigger one there. Alright, let's go ahead and see where we jump on. The Lamborghini of Roger Shank, who's pulled himself up to a 12.5-second lead now, so he's gained himself about 2.5 seconds over second place Gareth McAllister. Love just the sounds you can get from these cars. That's why I gotta stay quiet sometimes. I just enjoy sitting here listening to the sound of the car from the inside, you know. Deborah, we greatly appreciate you listening in and watching in with us. I know you're here every single week, so I appreciate it. Appreciate the love you send. You know, we do it for fans like you who are sitting here watching with us every week, and you know they really care to keep on following. Nice to see that you have some drivers in here with support from their significant other. Sometimes you don't always get the support like that, so we appreciate that, Deborah. Brad McCombs currently. We'll go ahead and jump right on back over to Brad, who's currently in the 3rd position, so he's having himself a pretty nice day at the moment. He's got himself 20 seconds in front of him to second and 20 seconds behind fourth, so Brad can kind of just coast it for the final. Let's see, we've got 23 minutes now. Yeah, so Brad can kind of just coast it for the final 24 minutes. No need to really push it. It's going to be hard to gain that much time over the end of the race. So really just kind of, or lose that much time, as long as we just kind of coast it. Don't take yourself out of a podium finish is all I can say for Brad McCombs at the moment. So having himself a great day, currently sitting in the 3rd position. So we're about ready to hit that 20 mark again, so we'll go jump right back on over. We'll do this one more time before the race is over. So Dennis Diaz still currently your leader, now got himself about a 4.5-second lead over Doug Buchanan. Brad McCombs, as previously mentioned, here in the 3rd position, just right behind a lap car, a Mercedes-Benz. I'm not sure which one that is. Looks like that's David Ferreira. David is going to go ahead and just stay low, get out of the way, not be in the way there. Brad McCombs, so great driving there for you, David. Mackenzie Johnson currently in 4th. I know usually we have somebody rooting for Mackenzie on the broadcast as well. So if you're watching with us tonight, great run for Mackenzie in 4th place, up 2 spots from their starting position at the start of the race. Tyler Langenberg, we've seen him. His Corvette's nice and clean. Like as previously mentioned, nice paint scheme on it. Gives a little bit of a more of an old-fashioned kind of paint scheme to it, which honestly usually my preference. So I'm definitely liking that. Terry Coucher currently in the 6th position. You saw him have a dominating start to the day, but really after a mishap coming onto pit road on the first time around, just kind of has not been able to really recover from there. But still running in the 6th position overall, so pretty nice day for him. Jimmy Culver is right on his tail, looking to try to gain some time and maybe gain one more spot. Jimmy started this race in the 5th position, currently in 7th, so down 2. David Lehman's currently in the 8th position. Nick Terrell's in 9th. Derek Sherman is in 10th. Tony Watson getting ready to come off pit lane here, currently in the 11th position. Andrew Neri is 12th, and he's the last of your drivers in the GTE class that are still out there putting laps down. Jump over now to your GT3A class, where you got Ryan Tyler is currently your leader. Paul Boyle's in 2nd. Aaron Clayball is in 3rd. Jeff Ripley had been your leader. He did come down pit road. I'm not sure if Jeff had an extra issue or not. I thought we saw him come to pit road already, but I might just be mistaken here. I don't think he's just coming down for probably his final stop of the day. Now we're gonna have 20 minutes to go here in this race. So we'll go Ryan Tyler currently in first in the 3A class. Paul Boyles in second. Aaron Clayball up 5 spots now. So continues to be a slow, methodical approach to his game tonight, and doing a great job currently running in the third position in his class. Nicholas Paletti's in fourth. Mark Thomas in fifth. Carl Handwerk is in sixth, and Jeff Ripley coming off pit road now, currently in the seventh position. Marcellus Bruning in eighth. John Nielsen is in ninth. Marcus Osborne looks like he's been able to make his way ahead of Gary Schilling. They were battling it out for a little while before they both came down pit lane. Gary Schilling's in 11th, and that is the last of your drivers in the 3A class that are still out on track. Jump over now to your 3B class, where Roger Shank has now got himself a 15-second lead, so an additional 2.5 seconds since the last time we jumped on this topic. Gareth McAllister is your driver currently in second. Zachary Purcell is in third. Adam Dahl is in fourth. We'll probably be jumping to Adam. He's the only McLaren still out on track right now. David Ferreira is in fifth. Mark Dillon back on pit lane after having some damage dealt for him. Zachary Nullberger is out of the race. Atticus Milton still out there running. He's got a lot of time to try to make up, possibly on Zachary. He's definitely hoping to try to make up some time since Zachary is done for the day. It looks like that car's running a little bit off center for Atticus. Not sure how much time he'll be able to make up here. As we're talking about that, Atticus Milton just lost it right there. Definitely not an easy car to be driving right now. Oh, that was close. That was Dennis Diaz. Dennis had himself a very close encounter right there. Coming up a lot faster maybe than expected for both drivers. We're going to go ahead and jump on board here with Dennis as he's... Whoa, that is a scary moment there for Dennis. He almost saw his race taken away from him. But that might be part of why he has lost about 2 seconds to Doug. Doug Buchanan's back about 2 seconds behind him now. Here comes Dennis. Doug Buchanan's right on behind. We are now going to go ahead and jump over and show you all exactly how much time we've got left. 16 minutes. So almost hard to believe. Cut that. The last time we jumped over to the ticker for that was at the 30-minute mark. So half of that's already been cut away. Here as we're on the closing laps and closing time. I think 16 minutes. They got maybe all of 3 to 4 laps left for each of these drivers. Probably 3 for those in the slower 3A or 3B cars. right, here we are now with 15 minutes left in this race. We're going to go ahead and give everybody one more turn it up session before this one is over. And don't forget, if you've got headphones, go ahead and be prepared for the difference in volume that you're going to hear in these race cars now. All right, we're back. We're now down to the final 10 minutes of this race. Dennis Diaz continues to be your leader. He's now pulled off to a 6.3-second lead over Doug Buchanan. So Dennis is kind of saving his absolute best for last here. That time around, I think maybe just Doug maybe had a slight mistake and he lost about 2 seconds on that last lap because Dennis and Doug have been basically even on their lap times all race long, evidenced by the fact that they were on top of each other, racing for almost the entire race. At the moment, we don't have any on-track battles. Actually, Brad McComb's currently in 5th, and Jimmy Covert is in 6th. So those are your two closest on-track battles at the moment, as Brad McCombs, I believe, may have gotten past Jimmy Covert there. Brad has just coming off pit lane, so he made this on 3 pit stops. Everybody else, I believe, was making it on just 2. So a little bit of interesting strategy here for Brad McCombs. He's about 12.5 seconds back of Terry Counters. We'll have to see where he stacks up there. There's Carl Handwork, the horse right in front of him. Carl currently running in 5th in the GT3A class, so he's having himself a nice night here in the top 5. Thank you, James. We got James here watching with us. James, I think you'd have fun in these things. You and Josh would have a lot of fun racing in these. 100-minute endurance race is definitely a tough one, but I know you guys have a lot of fun, especially in these cars. It's honestly why before the season started, I said, well, I got to buy one of these cars. And the first 2 people I went to were James and Josh to see which one I should buy, and they recommended the Lamborghini. So it's a pretty good looking one, too. Honestly, I like that one. Currently first in your GT3B class with Roger Shank currently holding a 15-second lead, so hasn't really gained or lost anything to Garrett McAllister, who's currently in the 2nd position. See Gareth right over here. Gareth's shown some pretty nice speed overall. Zachary Purcell in the Mercedes-Benz, as is Dave Ferreira. Oh, but not in onboard camera view again. Let's jump back over here to TV1. Alright, so again, Dennis now continuing to pull away here on Doug Buchanan. Looks like Doug maybe just used up the stuff that he had. And he's got now 57 seconds to Tyler Langenberg behind him. So, he doesn't really have... If Doug really feels like he can't get up there and pass Dennis for the win, just sit back. Don't do anything that's going to take you out of a 2nd place finish, which is already a pretty good night for Doug at the moment. Brad McCombs has actually made his way. Secretariat Coucher did indeed have to make an additional pit stop there. So Brad McCombs now moves up to the 4th spot. He's exactly where he started, actually. About 15 seconds behind Tyler Langenberg. Now I'm going to imagine Tyler probably doesn't need to come back down pit road. Not sure exactly how much fuel these guys get. I just do know that Brad had come in earlier than everybody else. So him and Terry making this on 3 stops at the moment. Oh man, you see Dennis all over off of the pavement there. He was using every last bit that he had. Oh, looks like Dennis is coming down pit road. So we got 5 minutes to go here, and it looks like he did have to make 3 pit stops. So Brad McCombs put himself in a pretty nice position to probably take home a podium finish into the 3rd spot. Not sure he'll be able to gain anything more from that. He's just too far back from Doug Buchanan and Dennis Diaz. Doug decided he's going to stay out here over the last 5 minutes. I mean, that's about a lap or so around here. I don't know if you're going to be able to save that much. Now, we do know that Doug came in 1 lap after Dennis. So it could be part of the goal to try to see if he can make it to the end. And maybe, he was losing all that time because he was just taking it slow. I mean, he's been 2 seconds, 3 seconds slower almost each of the last 2 or 3 laps. So I'm wondering if maybe Doug's just trying to make some fuel strategy work here. It's not something you typically see in these endurance races like this. Fuel strategy. I don't recall we've had any. At least I'm not sure if they had in the last two races, but and this is race number 6 for me with the this league, and yeah, definitely would be interesting to see can they pull off some fuel strategy. That would put Doug as your winner. Currently, Dennis is still on pit lane. He should be getting ready to come off pit lane here soon. Tyler Langenberg actually came in 1 lap after everybody else did. So he actually moves to the 2nd position now, 8 seconds ahead of Dennis Diaz. Brad McCombs wasn't quite close enough to Dennis to try to catch up to him after Dennis pit. But Brad McCombs maybe holds on to a 4th spot here, as long maybe even gain some more as long as no real issues happen. He's still got almost 4.5 seconds to 5th place Jimmy Covert. So Brad McCombs kind of just relax from here on out. The interesting thing will be to see, does Doug Buchanan or Tyler Langenberg have enough fuel to make it to the end? And if that is the case, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a surprise winner. Maybe not so much for Doug Buchanan. We saw him. He's definitely fast enough to compete with the likes of Dennis Diaz and Terry Cowger. Just depends on, was he able to save enough fuel? This is race 8 of 10. You got 2 more races after this. If you feel like this is your best opportunity to win a race, and you got to do something different. Doesn't really matter how you win it. As long as it was clean, in my opinion, a win is going to be a win, especially over a guy like Dennis Diaz and Terry Cowger, who are just 2 blazing fast drivers on these road courses in these GTE class cars. Yeah, I try to put down a couple of test laps usually before each race and that I go to, just so I can get at least somewhat of an understanding. I didn't get an opportunity for Le Mans because I forgot I had purchased it, so didn't get to do it before the race. But these cars are definitely a ton of fun everywhere else I've driven them. Like at Watkins Glen, I've put down quite a few laps in GTE cars actually at Watkins Glen just for the fun of it, and they're just so much fun to drive there. And you're right, love seeing fuel strategy come into play here. It's a great race here for the finish of the GTE class. And Tyler Langenberg really hasn't lost much time to Dennis Diaz behind him, so I'm wondering, is Tyler for sure going to make it? I mean, we're coming down now to less than a minute in this race, so this is going to be very, very interesting in my opinion here. It'd be almost odd not talking to Dennis. I actually haven't... And the other races I've done with Dennis has won those 2 or 3 races. My apologies, I haven't done 6. I've only done 2 or 3, just joining in partway through the season. But yeah, so I haven't been in a race where Dennis didn't win the GTE class race. So this would be something different. We're going to jump on board here with Doug Buchanan. My interested to see, he's not driving necessarily very hard, still putting some pretty nice time down. As we're now coming down to the final 15 to 20 seconds in this race, so we really only have 1 more lap after this. I know Doug wishing this would be probably the final. Oh yeah, look, he is off throttle significantly, very far ahead of time, just coasting it. He's got a minute over Dennis, 55 seconds over Tyler. So really, Doug should definitely be able to make it to the end here, just coasting it as much as he possibly can. You can see that on that long stretch there. Plenty of coasting through there, trying to save as much fuel as possible. Here's Tyler Langenberg. Early shifts. Very, very early shifts for Tyler. As you can tell, that's part of that fuel saving strategy. Currently 6 seconds over Dennis Diaz. So we'll go ahead and bring up the track map for you here in just a moment. We're now 1 hour, 41 minutes into this race. Haven't quite hit the... Alright, so Doug Buchanan looks like, let's see, actually let me try to show. Alright, so Doug Buchanan currently your leader. He's trying to find his way back around. He's going to be that turquoise color with the number 1 on it. Kind of on the southwest area of the track. I don't know if it's the actual southwest area of the track, but if you're looking at a compass right on the top now, inching towards that south 11 to 12 o'clock, or oh my goodness, the 5 to 6 o'clock mark. It's been a long day, everybody. All right, so looks like Doug's only got a few more corners left where he completes this lap. I haven't shown the white flag come up on my screen just yet, so my apologies. Don't quite exactly know. We'll see in just a few moments. Here you see Doug flashing his lights there. And that is a checkered. That is, in fact, a checkered flag. Doug Buchanan is able to save enough fuel, make this race on 2 stops to finish this one in first place. So great job for Doug Buchanan. So we do know we're on the final lap. I'm sorry, this didn't come up on here for me that we're on the white flag. I figured as much, obviously, with time, but you never know. Right now, Tyler Langenberg, let's actually go ahead and bring that track map back up. I want to see where on track he currently is. So Tyler's going to be... Let's see. Let's see, Ryan Tyler with a 1.2 second lead. He's going to beat Paul Boyle to the line here. So that's going to be your GT3A class finish. Okay, so the reddish, pinkish, salmon color, whichever you want to call it, on your track map with the number 1, and it's got a black ring around it. That's currently Gareth McAllister, your leader. And it looks like, I didn't even notice, Roger Schenk was your leader. So it looks like Gareth is going to make this race on only 1 stop compared to 2 for Roger. So I think maybe that's why you saw Gareth losing so much time. So fuel strategy was not just the answer in the first in the GTE class, but fuel strategy was still very big here in your GT3 B class. So what a stunner. Fuel strategy kind of coming into play here. And as we're finishing up through some of these, we're going to go ahead and wait at the very least until Gareth and Roger have crossed the line so we can get in our interviews with them. Well, actually, let's go ahead and we'll start off with a GTA class. We'll go ahead and, you know what, we'll be fine. We're going to go ahead and wait off on just a moment. They're still finishing up their times here. At the very least, we're going to give these guys the opportunity to finish the race. They are in, again, these slower cars. There's just different class racing here. All right, so Gareth McAllister getting ready to come across the line here. Last few corners of this race for him. And coming down to final time, Gareth McAllister on fuel strategy is going to go ahead and win the GT3 B class. Roger Shank having dominated almost the entire race. He did this on 2 stops, 1 more stop than Gareth, and that allowed Gareth to win the race. And there it is. Roger Shank is going to be finishing in the 2nd position. So we're going to go ahead and bring Roger on in as soon as he finishes this race. Not really giving him much time to jump over. I don't actually see. Let's see if I can't try to find Roger here. Alright, I don't see Roger. Oh, it looks like, seeing here from Dennis, he actually had a penalty on his final one that cost him 40 seconds as well. So, give me just a moment, everybody. Sorry about that. I got my dog playing with her little toys back here. Alright, so I don't see Roger. Everybody, my apologies in the Discord here. So we're going to go ahead and bring in your winner, Gareth McAllister. Hold on just a moment. I actually don't see Gareth either. Okay, we're going to give these guys an opportunity to jump here onto Discord. So, Paul Boyle it is. Hey, Paul, this is Angel in the ESPN broadcast booth. You got me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, Paul, you had yourself a 2nd place finish here today. I mean, I've seen you run pretty consistent over the last few weeks. I may have missed the last 2 weeks, but the weeks prior to that, you were rather consistent here. So, what was the plan going into tonight's race? And is this what you expected to have a 2nd place finish?
I mean, Le Mans has always been a favorite track of mine. I've really enjoyed racing here when we did it in season 1, and every time that iRacing comes to this track. So for me, it was a case of familiarity and just cracking on with it. I had 4 or 5 far too many slowdowns today, so a couple of those eliminated, and who knows what could have happened. It was a really tight battle at the front of GT3 today.
Yes, I mean, we had tight battles all the way around the racetrack today, and definitely you were 1.2 seconds behind Ryan Tyler there at the end, so you're right. You never know what could have happened, but nonetheless, 2nd place finish is pretty darn good. It's a long one. Is this track feel like, even though it's the same 100 minutes, does it feel like it's more here, or?
Truth be told, I'd say it potentially feels a little bit less. Obviously, same amount of corners as a regular racetrack in that kind of 15, 16 area. Yet, because it takes 4 minutes, you're having to do so many fewer. And the time spent on the Mulsanne is a time to rest your arms and take a breather from the tight and twisties in the 3rd sector. So for me, it's a lot less full on than some of the other tracks that we attend. But all the same, 100 minutes is still a momentous effort for everyone to be doing week in, week out here.
Yeah, it's a show every single time, and it's a blast to watch. Paul, I appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on your podium finish, and we'll see you next week at Brands Hatch.
Thank you very much, Angel. See you soon.
All right, that was Paul Boyle, your 2nd place finisher in the GT3A class. We're going to go ahead and see if we find Ryan Tyler, your winner in the GT3A. I don't quite see Ryan Tyler here, so we're going to go ahead, and it looks like Gareth McAllister, your winner for the 3B class, is back in here, so we're going to go ahead and bring him into the booth. Gareth, this is Angel in the ESBN broadcast booth. You got me?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, perfect, Gareth. I was wondering, man, great job today. I mean, kind of stunning. Was your plan from the very beginning to save fuel?
Uh, no. I was actually afraid I was afraid I underfueled, but I deliberately put a little bit more than I thought I'd need, and I guess it just kind of worked out. I was really lucky with, I didn't think, I didn't qualify well at all. I was pretty upset with it, and I didn't think I'd be able to catch Mark Dillon or Roger Shank, but Mark had something happened in front of me. His boot was open, and on the Lamborghini, the boot's at the front, so it definitely didn't help zero down the Mulsanne straight. And yeah, I think Roger he just didn't get his fuel load right or something because he had me in the bag until the final lap. I noticed that he had to pit, so
Well, I mean, you were the only person in your class, and honestly, the only person to finish the entire race on one stop. So, well, actually, I think Zachary Purcell did the same. So, you and Zachary are the only two drivers who made it on one stop. So, I think you guys did a great job, of course, just managing your fuel and what you needed to make it to the end of the race. So, congratulations, Gareth. I'm sure you got some people you'd like to thank and shout out before we let you go.
yeah, I got a lot of friends and family who regularly watch these events, so thanks to them for cheering me on behind the scenes, and thanks to all the other drivers that race this league. Most of them are or all of them, I should say, are very clean, and they get around you very easily. So I was really thankful for that, and thanks to you for broadcasting. It's good stuff. I would like to watch it back. So yeah,
Well, I appreciate it, Gareth. It's always a blast to be able to broadcast for you guys. So many different things happening at so many different moments, and it's a blast to watch. So I appreciate it. You have yourself a good evening and enjoy your win. We'll see you next week.
thank you. See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Gareth McAllister, your winner in the GT3B class. Gonna take one more peek with these guys around. Don't see anybody else, so we're gonna find Tyler Langenberg. He's over here sitting patiently in the waiting room. Hey Tyler, this is Angel in the ESBN broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Tyler, man, fantastic job. You got yourself a podium finish. You started back in the ninth spot here, the GTEs. You were ESPN's Hard Charger Award, having gained 7 spots tonight. That was the most, not just in your class, but anybody in any one of their classes tonight. Uh, was this the plan to save fuel, or did it just kind of happen to work out that way?
Coming into it, my plan was to absolutely fuel save because it was, if you did the math right, it was tight at the end of the race if you were gonna make it or not. So my plan was to save an extra like 0.2 of a lap. That's actually how close it was for like one stint. So it was real tight, especially coming to the end. Like I had predicted like 26 or 27 laps. I think we did 26, I believe.
Yes, you guys all completed 26 laps.
Yeah. Yeah, so if I were to do full fuel for both my pit stops, I'd have to go 9 laps each time. So I'd have to pit at lap 9, pit at lap 18, and then hope it would go 26 laps. So, yeah, just good strategy today for me. Prevailed in the end.
Absolutely, Tyler. That was a fantastic job. I wasn't even sure if few strategy would be a situation here. We don't get it much in these endurance races. So thank you for adding just a little bit more spice there to the end of the show. Congratulations. I'm sure you got some people you'd like to thank before I let you go here.
Yeah, like shout out to all the guys at D-Line. Shout out to all the guys that are running this league. Shout out to all the other drivers in this league for running it cleanly, relatively at some times. But yeah, shout out to them. Uh, yeah, just a great race for me today.
Absolutely, Tyler. Congratulations, and we'll go ahead and let you go. Enjoy yourself, your second place finish. All
Yep, thank you.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tyler Langenberger. Langenberg, I'm sorry, your second place finisher today. We're going to go ahead and looks like we lost Doug Buchanan. I don't see him here on the waiting room. So, Doug, congratulations on your victory. if maybe we can't get you in for a quick little interview at the start of next week. But nonetheless, that is your finish. Let's go ahead and bring up your finishing order for today's race. All right, so in your GT3B class, Gareth McAllister was your winner, Roger Shank in second, Zachary Purcell in third, Dave Ferreira's in fourth, Adam Dawes in fifth, Mark Dillon sixth, seventh place for Atticus Middleton, and Zachary Nernberger is going to go ahead and round out your field for the GT3A Bs. Your GT3As, Brian Tyler was your winner, Paul Boyle in second, Aaron Clayball in third, Nicholas Paletti's in fourth, Car Handwork in fifth, Jeff Ripley was in sixth, Mark Thomas in seventh, Marcus Bruning in eighth, John Nielsen's in ninth, Gary Schilling rounds out your top 10. In 11th was Marcus Osborne, Daniel Hingley in 12th, Tyler Vickery's 13th, 14th for Timothy Emanuel, 15th for Sam Cooper Bennett, and rounding out your field for the GT3 A's was Daniel Barnett in 16th. We're going to go ahead and finish it up here with your GTEs. Doug Buchanan with some fantastic fuel strategy for the victory. Tyler Langenberg in second. Dennis Diaz is in third. Turns out he had a penalty on his final pit stop that cost him an opportunity for, at the very least, a second place finish, but a podium nonetheless. Brad McCombs comes home in fourth, Terry Cowger in fifth, Jimmy Covert in sixth, David Lehman in seventh, Mackenzie Johnson in eighth, Nick Terrell's in ninth, Derek Sherman rounds out your top 10. Tony Watson was 11th, Andrew Neri in 12th, Antoine was in 13th, Ronnie Osmer in 14th, Matt Odell in 15th, Sean Atkins in 16th, Bryce W. Anderson finished in 17th, and rounding out your field of GTEs was Timothy Bramlett. Well, that is the end of our show today. We appreciate everybody who watched with us live on the Esports Broadcasting Network, a sim racing media company. Next week, we take it to the Grand Prix layout of Brands Hatch. It'll be another exciting one. 100 minutes there once again. That'll be the penultimate race in this season, as round 10, the 10th race of the season, will be held at Watkins Glen 2 weeks from now. However, a week from today, same time as always, we will see you all then. Have a great rest